So despite paying off all my trucks, saving up 20%, it is still incredibly difficult to buy a house because the house prices are going up faster than I can save the 20%.
We have a bunch of money saved up, and I still cannot buy a house.
Because it is so unimpressive. We are talking about a $500,000 fixer-upper. What?
The housing market is absolutely cooked. If you're glued to the market like me, you're probably scouring Zillow looking for some good deals, and you'll see stuff like this. Or this.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And then all of a sudden, those sheds on the side of Home Depot parking lot start to look pretty good. In this video today, I'm gonna give you guys some housing market stats like prices and inventory, and I'm also gonna react to some TikTok rants that people are talking about the struggle of buying a house. One of these people had 5 jobs between them and their spouse, and still they can't afford a house. But let's get into the numbers first. Now, can you guess if prices have gone up or down since the beginning of 2022? Well, if you said up, you'd be wrong. The median sales price in the US actually has gone down since 2022. It peaked out at 442K median, and now it's at 411K median. So this is actually down 8%, around 8% from the peak on a national basis, which is kind of interesting. And obviously the market is highly dependent on the area you live in, but still, this is a nice kind of overall snapshot to get the baseline of where things are at. And if you look at the housing inventory, we just passed 1 million homes for sale, which is pretty cool. And at the bottom in 2022, the inventory dipped below 400,000. So, that's actually some good news. And also the interest rates are finally cooling off, where they were at like 7.5%, and now they're at 6.23. So things are getting a bit easier. It's cooling off a little bit, but I think we were so high in La La Land before that it's still unaffordable now, even after this cool down in the last 2 months. Now, we still have crazy high demand. People are still waiting on the sidelines for affordability that may or may not come, but there's all kinds of angles and different videos you can make about the market like I plan to do. We have like the boomers telling Gen Z to work harder when they bought their homes for $10 and a candy bar.
If you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be harder for you to get a house. We busted our behinds because we didn't have the option of
or just speculating where prices are going to go, and now that interest rates are cooling off. So I plan to do all these types of videos, so subscribe down below because we have a lot in store. And if you are subscribed, make sure you comment because I will feature some of them in my next videos. But today's video, I'm really gonna focus on like the market itself. As of today, we're gonna get like a snapshot, and we're gonna also see what people of TikTok are saying. We're gonna look at some rants about what the normal folks are saying about the market and how hard it is to buy a home still. So right here, we have this lady who's talking about her struggles, and she's looking to buy a home, and she's saying it's kind of like a war zone out there, and if the prices aren't bad enough, the quality of the homes on the market are also pretty shaky.
That's why no one's freaking buying any houses right now, because it is so unimpressive. We are talking about a $500,000 fixer-upper. What? My husband and I went house shopping yesterday. Our budget is $500,000. We looked at 6 houses, and 5 of them were fixer-uppers. Nasty. Talking like exposed nails hanging out of the floorboards. Like the kitchen hasn't been touched since 1982. And the only one that was kind of nice was in the literal hood. Oh, and besides that, it was actually only 2 bedrooms, even though it was advertised as 3 bedrooms. So there's that. And the house right next to it was a literal dump site. Yeah, so this one with the pool was the one that we were looking at, and the house, that was the next door neighbor's house.
I think some of the home sellers are getting pretty confident. They seem to not even make an effort cleaning up some of these defects in the houses. I mean, you heard like she was seeing exposed nails, and some people may say that's why you should get a new build. This comment says, that's why we went with a new build. We can get everything we wanted for the same price as a fixer-upper. We did our homework and went with a reputable builder, which is fair. Some of the incentives nowadays I think are pretty good because some of these like home building companies, they have to sell homes. They can't just let the houses sit on the market waiting for them to sell. And I don't know if you've seen this guy. He's like a home inspector. He has like a pretty popular Instagram now. And he goes through his home inspections and he's seen some stuff that's like way worse than exposed nails on new builds.
New construction. Welcome to your new home. Haven't even made it in the house yet.
Isn't that supposed to be a gap right there?
Window frame's cracked.
So you definitely have to watch out for those as well, because you need a good inspector. Even if it's a reputable builder like he was showing, they can have horrendous quality. All right, so this next guy is a business owner and he lives at home and he's struggling to qualify for the loan because of all the qualifications you need as a business owner. I actually had no idea. It kind of sounds terrible.
I'm never gonna own a house.
Here's a fun fact about how broken our system is. I can't own a house either, despite owning 2 successful businesses. I live in my parents' basement. There's a fun fact about me. And don't get me wrong, that's not from lack of trying to buy a house, but they make it incredibly, incredibly difficult nowadays. First, start a business after university, and they say, oh, you need 3 years of business income. Cool, stay in business for 3 years. Go to reapply, and they say you've had ups and downs. You need stable income, but businesses grow. They have up and downs. That's how it works. So I give myself a small, steady income, and then they look at things like, oh, you got your pickup truck. You have too much debt. You can't buy a house with this level of income. They say, oh, you don't need 5% down. You need 20% down because you're a business owner. Do you know how hard it is to save up 20% of a house? So despite paying off all my trucks, saving up 20%, it is still incredibly difficult to buy a house because the house prices are going up faster than I can save the 20%. And they say this needs to be done because it's the affordability. Despite running 2 businesses, they don't know if I can handle the finance of buying a house. Don't worry, you can buy an $80,000 pickup instead, $0 down.
True, man. This guy's not Canadian at all, right? But yeah, he's kind of right. People are buying like houses on wheels, aka cars now. Like trucks are like $80,000, and people are. It seems like some people are just saying, screw the house. I don't want a house, or I do want one. I can't afford it. But, you know, they're loaning me 80 grand for a truck that I, haul things once every couple of years. But I feel kind of bad for the guy. It sounds like he's doing all the right things, but the lending just seems so strict. I mean, after the Great Recession, there was much stricter lending after that, which is a good thing. But, he provided years of his past income. And then his income wasn't steady enough. And then they said that he has too much debt. He paid off his debt. I mean, it just seems like it's never going to end for him. And I feel like that's kind of a negative about owning a business. It sounds like it might be impossible to buy a house unless your business is booming and you can just pay cash. One of the comments said, I made $106K last year and I don't even qualify for an 800 square foot condo in my hometown. Now, I looked through the comments and the replies. It said they were from California. So, yeah, California is terrible. And speaking of California, this next guy said he's from Redondo Beach, California, which is a nice place to live, but prices are almost impossible for first-time home buyers. Let's see what he has to do to try to make it work.
It is literally impossible to buy a house right now. I currently work 3 jobs. My girlfriend works 2 jobs. We have a bunch of money saved up, and I still cannot buy a house. Otherwise, we'll be completely house poor. I'm so sick of this. I'm so tired of it. We've been working so hard for so long. Both of our credit scores are 700 plus, 720 plus, and we're working our butts off. All we want to do is start our life, live our life, and we can't do it. I'm so tired of it. I don't know how much more I can take, man. I don't know how much more I can take. Like, when is the American dream going to be feasible again? When is it going to be okay to work hard to get good things in life? With both of us combined, 5 jobs, and we can't afford a house.
Man, this guy's having a full-blown crash out in his car, and it's pretty understandable. I mean, if I had 5 jobs between me and my spouse, I would be pretty pissed if I couldn't afford it. But I know this is like a common thing that people say is just move. I think some of the comments were saying just, move, which is fair. California is insane to buy a house. I think you need like mommy and daddy's help, a lot of people and almost everyone, to get like as a first-time home buyer. Getting it in your 30s is pretty much impossible. So I do feel for the guy, and I'd be curious what some of his jobs are and the income is like, because if you're making like that last comment said, 106K combined, it's just not enough. I think you need like 200 plus with a couple $100,000 down payment, especially in that Redondo Beach area. All right, so let's see this last guy. This one's actually kind of funny. So this guy made it, you know, he's got it. He bought the house, he made it to the promised land, but let's see how it's going for him.
Buying a fixer-upper is not for the weak. We bought this house with like every single penny we had, and so there's a lot of issues that we have to fix that we just can't afford right now. I'm just gonna show you this one room. I'm already getting angry. So I'm painting this room just to feel a little bit of joy, but there's so much wrong, and just every time I look, like I can't look at the house or else I just get frustrated because there's so much wrong with it. This pantry, they were too lazy to probably move the studs over where they needed to, so they just put the hinges on the wall rather than moving it out so they could actually put proper trim. Why is there children's wallpaper in the closet? Like almost every single corner, every single joint is all just done so badly. I think the former owners were DIY people, but like really.
Yo, I don't know what's going on. Some of these houses are really creepy. Like the ones on Zillow look like there's been murders happening in the basements. It's really scary. And that guy's like Harry Potter broom closet situation was kind of creepy too. But this guy to me is kind of in a bad spot. I mean, it sounds like he really wasn't ready for a home, or he wasn't prepared at all for the cost of renovations, or even just like, it was just a bad purchase. It looks really bad. I think he had a lot more problems than what he was showing. I think the video went on a lot longer. There's really weird parts, so it sounds like he shouldn't have just bought it at all. And also, one thing that people don't think about is the cost of furnishing. You know, you could get screwed if you don't budget that into what your housing cost is. That could cost like 20 to 30 G's just to furnish a whole house just from scratch, and like people don't factor that in, and their home looks like a college dorm room for a year. So with that being said, just be mindful, think of all the phantom costs when you are looking to buy a house. Don't just like look at the mortgage, look at the taxes, mortgage, PMI. If you have Sun, I recommend no PMI if you can, and make sure you try to get in a good area. But that is all I got for today, you guys. You know, it's a tough one out there. It is tough. The numbers look like they're cooling off. Even though it may not feel like it, they are a tad. And like I said, it really depends on the area you're in. But if you made it this far in the video, like it, helps the channel a lot. And I will see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.